to. This is a very short and quick video on how to get the photos from your camera onto your desktop and how to access Photoshop in Lightroom Classic. So the very first thing you need to do is make sure that you're registered with Adobe Creative Cloud. So I provided this website for you. Go to it. I'm already a member, right? I'm already registered. So it says sign in here for me, and I'm already kind of populated in here. But what you're going to do is create an account, and you're going to use your school email, and you're going to continue with Google. So go ahead and make sure that you're registered on that. Once you do that, then the next thing you're going to do is you should be able to see your Creative Cloud icon up here, and if you scroll over it, it says Creative Cloud. Go ahead and click on that, and you should have this window pop up and have all of the apps that are provided to you available to you. Now, unfortunately, this is the teacher model, so this is the teacher version. I have all of these apps available to me, but you only have Photoshop. You should have the latest version, which is 22.3, and then you should also have Lightroom Classic. So make sure that you have those two things. The difference between Lightroom and Lightroom Classic is that this Lightroom is Lightroom CC, which is Creative Cloud. And everything you do in this is going to show up in the cloud, and you can access all of your edited photos on all of your devices using Creative Cloud. Unfortunately, the school package does not provide this one, so we are using Lightroom Classic, which is the original desktop version of Lightroom, which is just as good. It's just that you have to sync your photos manually with the Creative Cloud, and then you can edit them in your phone's Lightroom app as well. So you should have Creative Cloud, Lightroom Classic, and a Photoshop version 22.3. So make sure you have those two. Okay, so there's two ways to get a photo from your camera to create a Lightroom Classic. First way is that you've probably already downloaded a lot of photos into your Google Drive. So I want you to go ahead and open up your Google Drive. And I've already done that, so let me make sure I'm going to grab the right one. Okay, so we're going to just go to my drive here. Okay, here it is. So you're going to have a folder, and it's probably for digital photography, and this is a folder that you might have created for photos that you want to use for a particular project. For this one, you're just going to pick a photo. It doesn't really matter. So you're going to have this folder. Now you can do two things. You can download the whole folder, which I don't recommend doing because here's a piece of advice that I want you to follow. It's really important. If you put a ton of stuff on your computer, your desktop at school, it will slow your processor down. It will slow your computer down. So you never want to store too much stuff on your desktop. Plus, when it's on the desktop at school and you need to go home and turn it in, you're not going to have it. It's only going to be on the desktop at school. So my advice to you is if you ever use the desktop as a dump, which I do, I always dump photos on it and then drop them places, make sure to clean that up, get those photos back in your drive, and clean up your desktop every class period. So say we have a folder, but if you have maybe 3 folders or 3 photos in that folder and you just want to download the whole folder, just click on this arrow and you can download. And that's going to take a second, and it's going to show up down here, and you can drag it onto the desktop. Now say, and it's probably going to zip the folder too. Say you only want one photo, you can open up your folder and you can find the photo, open that up, and of course you can download just that folder or just that photo, and it's going to go down here, and then I'm going to drag this onto my desktop. This is a picture of my brother and a bowl. It's a diptych, which means there's 2 photos in the photo, in the finished product of the photo. And this is taken, my mom lives down south, kind of in a woodsy river area, and in a town called Three Rivers. And I was taking like a family photo shoot, and I just thought this was kind of funny. If you knew my brother, you would get it. Okay, so after we do that, we have photos in a folder we can pull from, and we also have our individual photo here. The next thing we're going to do is open up Lightroom Classic, I use CC, so I might make that mistake often. Up here is your little icon. So you're going to go to that. And if it's the first time you've used this, it's not going to be on your dock yet. So you're going to want to go ahead and open it from this icon and continue. And then it's going to open up on, it's going to implant itself in your dock, and then you can use that always to open up quickly. Okay, so there's another video tutorial that I didn't make that I want you to watch that explains how to use Classic, like initially the basics, right? Like what do these labels mean? What do these folders mean? And what is all this editing stuff? So we're going to step through those videos slowly and practice with them. But for now, I just wanted you to learn how to get photos on here. So the first thing you're going to do is you have to go to import. Okay, so I'm going to import a photo, and this menu is going to pop up here, and of course you can find that photo on your desktop, and I have photos in my Lightroom demo folder, so I can go to that, and then I can say copy. I want to copy. You can also copy as a DNG, or you can move it, or you can add it. So I'm just going to copy, and then I'm going to click done, and then those photos will show up in your library of all your photos. So once you do that, see, we're in the library right now. Here's a few little details about these folders. This one is just a navigator. It shows you which photo you're on, which you can also see here. You can change the size of your viewing here. Close that folder if you're not wanting it. Catalog here shows you all your photos, all your sync photos, which we'll talk about that in a second. That has to do with syncing to Lightroom Cloud, the cloud. Quick collection and previous import. So those are your cataloged collections of photos. If you want to organize your photos, you can create the individual folders. Right now I just have the desktop in there, but you can click plus and add folder, and it's going to add a folder. Maybe it's on your desktop. You can create a new folder. You can title it something, create, right, and then choose. And then now you have that up here, demos, okay? And then this is my desktop. So everything that's on my desktop is going to show up in this folder here, okay? So this is what I'm going to eventually ask you to do, is create these folders. Collections, we don't have to go over that now. And then if you want to publish, there's some applications that are online that they offer. They've got you can publish to your hard drive, Adobe Stock, or Flickr, or you can find more online services if you're interested. Not sure if those are paid or not, so I wouldn't spend too much time exploring that. And then of course over here is all your editing. So to edit a photo, you would choose a photo. This one here, this is at Yellowstone National Park. This is the Grand Prismatic geyser. So I don't know if you guys have ever been there, but it looks like a rainbow. It's absolutely stunning. And if you wanted to edit that, you would go to develop, and then now of course you have all of these basic editing tools here on the right. Now this is not Photoshop, this is just Lightroom. So Lightroom offers you a lot of options for editing, a ton actually, but most people, you know, if they're in a hurry, they'll do it in Lightroom, but a lot of people, if they really have a lot of edits and want to transform their photo, they're going to take it into Photoshop. So that is how you're going to get your photo into Lightroom, and that's really basically all I want you to do with it today. You can, if you wanted to, you can mess around a little bit with some basic adjustments over here if you want to, and then when you're done with it, you're going to export that photo. So I would go back to the library, and then I would export it, and then of course you're going to tell it where to go. It's going to go to the desktop, hard drive, wherever you want it to go. Make sure you click the right boxes. You could rename it, and then you click export, and all of a sudden it's on your desktop, and then you would turn it in or put it in your drive. Right now we're saving just as a JPEG, so we're not going to be saving any fancy file types other than JPEGs. Okay, so that is just basic step one. That is what I want you to do first with one photo. Okay, go for it.